launch and learn for real estate, specifically for you realtors. Thank you for joining us. We're going to do a lot of these little launch and learns on different ways to implement 1QR into your marketing. So strap on. Here we go. My name is Guy Tuell. I am the founder of 1QR. And as I'd mentioned, we're going to zip through this. I'm joined by Cathy Inman, our executive VP over here at 1QR. Cathy, thanks for joining.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you. So what we're going to be covering, very quick and brief, because we don't want to really blow your minds, even though we might anyways, is we want to talk about the single biggest marketing upgrade that you probably haven't thought about that could 10x your business through the rest of this year and into the future. And it might be an old technology, but it's reimagined. And it's dynamic QR codes, specifically dynamic QR codes brought to you by 1QR. So that's going to essentially be the last time you're never going to hear about us. Right, Cathy?
Right? And I mean, maybe the QR code is a little bit older technology, but the dynamic QR code is the new technology.
Right. Dynamic. What's dynamic mean? Well, it means I can adapt, I can adjust the QR code to go virtually anywhere at any time. So thinking about all the marketing that we've done in the past, all the money that we've spent, and something might have changed. If you're in real estate, a price drop, a price adjustment, new photos, new videos, and we use QR codes, probably don't work because you're using the wrong kind of QR code. The one that we know doesn't work. So implementing 1QR, you save a lot and you get a lot of value because you also know that they're working. So we're going to just jump into this. Quick question to ask yourself while going through this is, we're going to be specific to a sign writer in this first episode of our Launch and Learn. Is, what does your sign writer look like? Does it have your beautiful photo? Does it have your name, your phone number, your web link, your business website? Are those things that you have on your sign writers? Then ask yourself, when was the last time someone called me from that? Some of you may have had success with it, but we know just through years of understanding how people communicate that they don't work because people don't want to call. People don't want to text. They don't want to email. They want to search. And if you can give them a way to scan, to go directly to the property, you're going to win. You're making it simpler for them to take the step to do what they're looking to do. They want to know about the home. So maybe it's time for an upgrade. It's time to replace some of those elements on our sign writer. And hopefully through these next few minutes, you understand the value and why a dynamic QR code with 1QR is something we need to bring into our marketing because of the nature of how people do the search. We know.
Well, and I can tell you, wait, but you have to realize that you are very passionate about this for a very particular reason. But I can tell you, prior to 1QR, I'd never heard of the word sign writer. I'll just admit it. Maybe it's just me. I didn't even know what a sign writer was. So I will tell you differently than you'll say, because you, of course, have skin in this game, have someone who's begged you to create this product for them, that all I know is that as a consumer, you need to make it fast and you need to make it easy, right? I literally, like, I just got back from picking up my groceries. That's easy. I no longer have to do my groceries anymore, right? And on my way, because we had just talked about this, I counted 3 real estate signs between here and there. Not one QR code. Beautiful on the main street right there as I'm zipping by. I could pull in, take a QR code shot, and find out about that house. Not one. Not one. It's very sad.
And the passion I have with it that you had mentioned is obviously the bug in my ear for many years to say, hey, you got to do this. This is going to help this industry. My wife, she's a realtor. She, I believe, and a lot of other folks, because she gets recognition, she's one of the top realtors in the country. And she is a full implementer of one QR. And just like you're saying, driving down the road, probably not traveling too far to go grab your groceries. There's 3 homes listed. And what are you being forced to do by those agents is you're being forced to go search and get out of their marketplace, their ecosystem. They end up on some other platform in search. And you don't get to control that narrative. Maybe there's misinformation of what the pricing is. And maybe if they decide to set up a showing, they're not coming to you because they're going to whoever purchased them as a lead. Get them in your ecosystem. So much is happening in this market in real estate specifically that is changing. Wherever there's not innovation, you see consolidation. Companies are getting larger. They're getting more market share. They're doing it because maybe private listings are something that they're looking to do. But if you're not wanting to go down that path, even if you do, you got to be able to control that narrative. We know, and it's a stat from NAR, National Association of Realtors, that 56% of home buyers begin their home buying process through search. And the number one physical activity that they're doing is they're going to neighborhoods. They're driving around, they're walking, they're envisioning, I could live here. This is a beautiful neighborhood. And if there's homes for sale and you've got brochures that have beautiful pictures and the description of the home and your website or your phone number, you've lost them. They're not going to type it in. Sorry, you think they will not. They'll search and they'll end up somewhere else. Same thing with a sign writer. Your beautiful face. They don't care what you look like. They care about the home. So make sure you're allowing yourself to control that narrative. You're allowing them to get the information they're looking for. People just don't communicate like they used to. We know this new wave of buyers, the millennial aged group, is wanting to
I have one of those.
You do. is wanting to do the search for themselves. And if you're not making it simple for them to find it, they'll find it somewhere else. And you might just get cut out of this deal.
Well, they're very tech savvy, right? I mean, that's the thing. I have one. My daughter and her husband bought a house about a year ago. And the first thing she told me when they started driving around, because I didn't even know they were looking for a house. They're like, yeah, we're going to start looking for a house. We're going to drive around this weekend. We don't want to talk to anybody, though. First thing she told me, I was like, well, you're going to have to talk to somebody. And she's like, yeah, but we're just going to drive around first and see where it is we want to, what we want to look at. Okay. But they're very tech savvy. They are going to find a way to find the information. So why not give it to them? Why not? I mean, right? And then the other thing, this one actually, bing, I just noticed this one the other day. And I'm assuming you have this in Colorado, but we have just up the street, we have a neighborhood that is gated. Well, guess what's outside of that gate? Like 4 or 5 real estate signs saying like, hey, there's a house in here that you can't see. Not one QR code. Don't even know what address it is.
Yeah. We've got communities that it's like a no brochure community. You can have your sign.
There you
can't
go.
have a brochure.
Yeah,
Put a QR code up there so when someone's driving by, they can scan it and get that information.
there's your brochure. How many
There's your
times do you see those
brochure.
brochure boxes empty? I think people just put them out now just because they're supposed to.
Right.
I don't even think they even make the brochures anymore.
Do things the way they've always been done and get the same results. That's
Yep.
what's beautiful about one QR is knowing what's working. You're closing a feedback loop. We've talked about it. I was on a webinar a few weeks ago with a very prominent real estate agent who's on TV, and he was talking about marketing in general. And what it came down to was basically, I spend a ridiculous amount of money on marketing. Do I know it works? Yeah, because we do the type of business we do, but I don't know what specifically works. I'm spending a unimaginable amount of money, but some of us don't have those types of budgets.
Yeah.
Why not close a feedback loop on everything we're doing marketing wise to know what's working? Because if I'm picking out an ad in a magazine and I haven't ever gotten a call from it, nothing's came from the website because I have my URL on there. Why not put a QR code on it and get real analytics from one QR that show that it's working? You can sit down with your seller and say, hey, we're getting traction in this magazine. Maybe the traction is showing us our price is wrong because there's a lot of scans and there's no showings getting set up. But I understand what's working. And that's where we say everything you do in marketing, we need to be able to understand what's working. So if I'm doing my signs, my ads in magazines, my postcard campaigns, even my business cards, we need to make these simple for people to get information. Now, Cathy, our past life in technology, we were a digital provider of business cards. And the reason why is because you wanted to get that information in someone's phone as quick as possible without giving them the thumb damage of having to type in your name, your phone number, your email. We know for a fact 95% of these end up in the trash in the first 48 hours. One of the first things a lot of people do, I just joined a brokerage, I've got a promotion in another business, I've changed a phone number, whatever. You get a business card. They look pretty. I got the thick stock. I've got the lettering pops up off of the paper. It's amazing. Doesn't it look great? Yeah, it looks great, but it's not going to do much for you if you can't get that in someone's phone right away. Scan the QR code and it loads automatically. Then it's just one touch call, text, email, going to your website, really being able to communicate with you.
The good news is we're still in that business. It's just under one QR now.
Right. And we have those types of destinations. There was a guy years ago that had 2 shoeboxes full. He was in a sales position.
I still have 2 shoeboxes full.
2 shoeboxes. And so when you think, where's one place I can use it that's going to give me an advantage? One place is a business card. This guy had 2 shoeboxes full of he said it was about $50 million worth of business that most likely isn't going to be happening because he doesn't want to take the time to digitize everything. Because we get the fatigue, we type the wrong number, we push to try to call someone in the wrong number and it goes to the wrong place and we threw the business card away. It doesn't work. So being able to streamline everything, because the person that's easiest to work with will get more and more business. So we're talking specifically here about one QR in real estate on sign writers. Now, where do I want my sign writer to go? Well, if I've got a listed property, obviously it should go to that site of that listed property. So I'll just pop up a few examples here, and then we'll get into generating some cool ones. All right. See my screen, Kathy? Got it?
Yep.
oneqr.com/examples and real estate. Here's just 9 very quick ways to implement a dynamic QR code from OneQR that's going to give you value, extend your reach, being able to provide the information to someone that they need at that exact point of interest. You got your brochures, business cards, direct mail, postcard campaigns. Those work really well with this platform. Understanding what home scanned it. Maybe I've got it tied to a CMA and they want to know what their home's worth. Potentially, I grabbed myself a new seller. Flyers, open house directional. We'll go to that one soon in one of our next trainings. Those, I think, are worth the squeeze with OneQR.
Game changer.
Game changer. Sign writers. Kathy, you had mentioned, a few months ago, maybe a little over a year ago, I've never heard of a sign writer. We've had people as not in the industry. They're like, is that a WRITER? No, it's a writer. It rides up on top, or you can have a writer below, I guess, that scan, get them the information they're looking for. So what we're just going to quickly do, so we're going to jump into OneQR and we're going to create a QR code for a sign writer and show you how extremely difficult this is. Because that's what we like to do. No.
Yes.
This is so simple. And because my wife's in real estate, she's going to get some marketing with this little launch and learn. I'm going to go in. I've already got a property that she has listed. Beautiful property. If you're looking in Northern Colorado, Fort Collins specifically, and you want to scan this QR code after, reach out to her, go ahead and do that. Would love you to be able to purchase this home from her. But the destination where this QR code is going to go to is to all of this. You get the property images, you get the photos, beautiful home. Come down and you get the description. You'd like to share it on your social platforms to other folks who might be looking to buy. You can do that. Gives you the location, gives you her information. Get a hold of her, contact her. The amenities, the virtual tour. If you need to set up a showing, this is all from the QR code that's going to be on the sign writer. You can.
And why reinvent the wheel? You already are doing this for your properties already.
Exactly.
Right? There's no point in having to write another thing up that you're going to print out, that you're going to put in the little box that's going to get rained on or left there or taken by 3 people. And what about the next 3 people? You've already made your website. You already have a property listing.
We see a lot
not
of
harder.
We see a lot of price adjustments, and we see people making those beautiful brochures and they put the price on it. Why not put a QR code on the brochure and be like, scan for pricing? Because if I take a static piece of paper that once I print it, that's the information. If we did a price drop, we've got to reprint everything. We still don't know if someone's going to call or text or email or go to my website because they don't want to type it in when looking at the brochure. Scan the QR code, get the pricing. Scan the QR code, text, call, email, whatever you would like them to do, you're in control. So it's as simple or as difficult as copying and pasting. This is how fast it is to create a QR code. I've copied the destination of where I want it to go to. I have it going to a web link and I paste it in. There we go. That's as difficult as it gets. Maybe I have a differentiator. I'm a brand. I want to come in. I naturally just go to more rounded, soft corners because that's how I am. I'm soft. So I'll come in, adjust. Something I already have on my computer is just a color eyedropper. I can understand exactly what colors fit into the design. I'm going to make hers a
But
little.
if you know your brand, I mean, most people know their branding colors, whether you're with a
Mhm.
big firm or if you have your own. Just grab your branding kit, put your colors in there,
Hex
and
code,
design
RGB,
it.
it's all
Yeah,
there. You
all there.
can make pretty much all of this
Mhm.
whatever color you want. You can make the outline different. You can make the pattern inside a different color. I'm just going to simply, for her brand, put in her logo. So type it in, scroll down to her logo, load it directly in, and it's there. That's the difficulty of the platform. If I want to add a serial number, that's something I can do. This is for a sign writer aspect. If you got lots of listed properties, lots of sign writers, you can just put a serial number in here. It's going to load it up in this lower left-hand corner. It's not going to distort any of the scan. It's basically for you. So when you
It's
grab a
teeny
sign,
tiny.
it's tiny. So when you go grab that sign, you sold it faster than what the average time on market is because you made it simple for someone to get the information, which is another story because that's happening. Um, you're able to do that. It's a serial number in, you're moving it to the next property. You go in, that information changes to the new property. I just remove that link, put in the new one. Next, this is an example. It's all in a naming of the QR code. This is
Mhm.
what you do. It's Andrea's
Sign writer one.
example sign writer one. Just put that in because you said it.
I mean, it just makes sense, right? Because you're telling yourself well, this is what it's called, but it's not. Because well, I think that we do get that sometimes where people get a little confused. They're like, "Well, I'm going to name this 123 Main Street," but it's not going to always and forever be 123 Main Street. So that's the thing to remember is that this sign is now whatever you need it to be. Right now, today, 123 Main Street might be what's for sale and what you've attached. But when that sells tomorrow, it's going to become 456, you know, Vista Ridge. I don't know, pick a word. And then you just change the link, like I said. So you don't have to rename it every time. You just have
Absolutely.
named it the sign
You just basically name
number just so
exactly.
that you have it. Yeah, you're gonna forever be able to change what links to it.
Mhm. Along with it, you can tag it. That's another thing can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to find. One QR links. Here's a little advancement. Maybe if you have your sign writers or even just your business card, I could generate a QR code, get it on my business card, have a short link directly to it. Each QR code generates a link, a serialized link, but this gives you the ability to customize it. So Andrea could come in here and go, Andrea, type that in. When it's saved, she can essentially say, go to oneqr.com/Andrea, and you're going to get all this information. It's something that you don't text or email. Put your QR code on social platforms. You take the short link. It's hyperlinked. It goes to the exact same destination as the QR code. Location. Here's something where if I'm doing a postcard campaign and I put a QR code on, this is where I would use it. I would say scan only or all. When I do that campaign, it goes out to the neighborhood and people are scanning it. I can sit there and sort of creep on the heat mapping, the pinpoint locations of where that QR code's being scanned. So if I am doing a CMA, maybe there's an opportunity for these home addresses as the individuals who are going to reach out to me. When we first implemented it, it was cool to be able to see some outliers as
Mm-hmm.
someone scanned a QR code and it goes to that link, and then that link is then text or shared to someone else across the country. And lo and behold, we've seen where all the way across the country, it was on a heat map that there was a call of I'm looking to buy. Let's sign a buyer's contract. And it's just a way of get an expansion and lead captures that help you advance your business. I'm going to just turn this off. Scan notification, knowing what's working. Had said, close that feedback loop. Understand what marketing works. We've got a mobile app, dedicated mobile app for 1QR, both in the Android, Google Play Store, and 1QR. That if I turn this on and it gets scanned, I get real-time notifications of the QR code getting scanned. I know it works. That's something we don't know if the flyer, the brochure, the postcard is doing anything. But if people are scanning those, we can get some good data and information.
But it's fun. It's just fun to see it get scanned.
So we talked longer than what it took to actually generate this QR code. That's how fast it is. Now, once it's generated, you get the green highlight going around. Hey, this is active. You can scan it. You can go to that destination of 2155 Scenic Estates Drive. And you're going to get that information. It goes on the sidewinder, goes on the postcard, whatever, wherever you want it to go. All you have to do is download it, whether that's in a PNG file or SVG, a vector file, to make it as big or as small as you want. You deliver that to your print company, your sign company, and say, hey, I need this QR code. Oh, look, it worked. That's amazing when things go as planned. That is the complexity of it. Now, the dynamic aspect. 215 Scenic Estate Drive goes under contract. I'm going to come back in to my list of QR codes. And I'm going to edit it. And let's see what other properties she currently has listed. We're just going to grab under contract for sale. Here we go. Sunburst Avenue. Sign moves to Sunburst Avenue. Next, save. I didn't have to reprint the sign writer. I've adjusted it to Sunburst Avenue, the destination. Go ahead and scan.
I did. It worked.
We'll show it works. There's what happened. If you're going to watch this in replay, we actually adjusted the very first one. So if you scan it, it's the same QR code that you'll see. I'm going to actually just move it back here so we get some more marketing for that Scenic Estates property. It hasn't been sold.
That's kind of a nice place right there.
It is.
Right?
It hasn't been sold. It gives you an opportunity through watching this replay. Purchase it.
Well, then you can go down and see on the, once you've saved it, what link do you have attached to it? There's a short link that if you didn't put a custom short link in, there's your short link you can grab and share. There's all kinds of information once you've made your QR code that you're going to be able to see.
Look how that just redirects right to it.
Yeah.
Text that, email it, whatever. That's complexity.
Yeah, and I mean, you can just copy it by pushing one button.
This technology is far overlooked. It's something you should really, really consider in implementing into your real estate marketing, into any other business. If you're watching this, into any business, you got a fleet of vehicles. If you've got a brick and mortar, if you do print ad, make sure you're always in control of where you want people to go, because they are interested, they're intrigued, or they want to take action. And you got to give them the simplest way to get offline, online, where you can control that narrative as quick as possible. You're easier to work with, they're going to work with you. So
point A to point B.
A to B. A to Z sometimes in marketing, right?
Right.
Marketing does a lot of this. Why not just make it a straight line and get directly to the point? Or people, they don't want to go to your website. They don't want to click around. They don't want to go to we'll say it, the Zillows, the realtor.coms.
He said it.
They want the information that you're providing to them. And if you're not in control, someone else will be. So we're going to wrap this one up. This was on sign writers specific to real estate. What do we say our next one's going to be, Kathy? It's good. Actually, it's in 2 weeks.
On real estate.
On real estate. And we're going to look at postcard campaign tied with the mapping.
Mapping. Love the mapping.
Now I have to remember that I need to write that note down, or I could make a QR code to give me that information. Essentially go to a note to say, hey, this is what you're doing in 2 weeks. Yep. The day of, get ready, scramble to get done. Thank you, Kathy. This is always fun to just talk about the future, not the old. We're not talking about AI. We're not talking about.
We could go down rabbit holes on all kinds.
We could talk about AI. There's a lot of AI that's being worked through this platform. Yeah. So appreciate you. Appreciate everyone watching this. If you've got any questions, go to our website. We got a help desk, a support. We got a free trial. We got all different kinds of packages. If you're serious about doing this business or about any business, you should be serious about implementing 1QR. So, everyone, have a great one. Talk soon. Take care.